Hey everyone, just wanted to jump on here to talk about some up and coming pickleball paddles in the pickleball world. As we know, it's 2023 and the pickleball paddle companies are coming in hot. There are what started out to be probably only a handful about 2, 3, 4 years ago has grown into, maybe 50, 60, 70, who knows how many. And paddle companies are opening left and right nowadays. So it's kind of interesting to take a look at what's up and coming and what will hopefully hit the shelves soon. So the first one I want to talk about is the Gearbox GBX E16 millimeter. So Gearbox, a lot of people know Gearbox, a lot of people love Gearbox, and there's a handful of people who also hate Gearbox. So it's a very kind of polarizing paddle company because, I'm not sure if you've ever gotten the chance to play with one, but it is a very unique paddle. It's not something that you pick up right away and immediately changes your game. You have to practice with it. You have to get better because it has a very, very unique feel. But what a lot of people appreciated, the loyal following that Gearbox has, what a lot of people appreciate in their paddles is that it's quality. So they make some of the most durable paddles on the market. I've heard stories that you could put one of the Gearbox paddles under your car, drive it over the paddle, and it's still intact. Nothing happens. Because these paddle, I'm not sure if that's true. If somebody tests that out and wants to film that for me, I'd love to see that, and maybe one day I'll even do that myself just to make sure that that's an accurate claim. But loyal following with Gearbox. They're out of San Diego, founded in 2007, and so far, pickleball I think is their newest sport that they kind of dabbled into. They started out with racquetball, did some paddleball, some squash, and pickleball is kind of their new baby. But their paddles are very, very well made, as I mentioned, and they've already incorporated the T700 carbon fiber in a lot of their paddles. But I believe that they have not yet done a raw carbon fiber paddle, and this would be their first. And rightfully so, because as these raw carbon fiber paddles are becoming more popular, then everybody wants to jump in the space, and it was only a matter of time that Gearbox was going to jump in as well. So not a lot is known about this paddle, obviously. All we can see from the USA Pickleball approval site is that it's going to be 16 millimeters thick, and I'm not sure if we'll make a 14 millimeter one or anything like that, but this is the only one that's been approved so far, so they'll probably start out with this and then expand to other dimensions and other widths. But I've seen a few people on social media with these paddles. I think it's either Gearbox ambassadors and a few pros. I just saw actually that Michelle Esquivel, who's was with Carbon for a while, has now recently signed with Gearbox, and you can see on her Instagram that she was holding one of these and playing with one of these now. So very interesting from Gearbox. Excited to see what they will do with this and how popular it will be, because like I said, their other T700 regular carbon fiber paddles are very popular, and I'm sure that they did not sacrifice any quality for this GBX, and it's going to be a beast right out of the box. So they're very excited for this paddle to come out and make its way in the pickleball space. Okay, the next paddle or paddles that I want to take a look at are a few from Onix Sports. Now, many people know Onix because Onix has been in the pickleball space for a long time. They're one of the OGs, if you will. If I kind of sort this by list date, you could see that they made paddles way back in 2011, and that's in the pickleball world. Since pickleball has picked up as much as it has in the last 2-3 years, this is a while ago. So Onix has been, and this is of course the Z5, which is a very popular paddle in the rec world, especially for beginners. But Onix is a company that's been around. The one knock that people have had on Onix recently is that they have relied too much on their Evoke Premier, which is one of their most popular paddles, and pretty much the one when you're looking at pros, for example, Matt Wright, Lucy Kovalova, Callie Jo Smith, all sponsored by Onix, and they have been using the Evoke Premier religiously. I have personally never played with that paddle, and I actually do not even see that paddle a lot during rec player tournaments, but I think the folks that use it and have played with it for a while really did enjoy that paddle and still do. But Onix, they've been quiet for a while, you know. It seems like sometime, I think they've come out with kind of modifications to the Evoke Premier, maybe some lower tier paddles through 2022, 2021. Doesn't look like they did too much, and it looks like in 2019, that's when they released the Evoke Premier, at least the Evoke Premier Lite. So it's been some time, but what we can see here is that Onix has been stepping their game up. It looks like they've taken the shape of some of the Selkirk counterparts with these holes that they have in a few of these paddles, and these are much smaller than obviously the Selkirk Power Air, the Selkirk Labs, but it seems like it's some inspiration from those. And they look like good paddles on the face of it. They look like pretty cool paddles. It seems like the handle is pretty big, and that might just be from the pictures, but these malices and all these malices do look like they'll be interesting and fun paddles to play with. So look out for those to come out hopefully soon. They approved these in the beginning of December 22, so not sure when Onix will release it. The other one is the of course a raw carbon fiber paddle of the Evoke Premier. So it looks like they took the Evoke Premier that I was talking about earlier, that they've had since 2019, 2020, and finally they have done what the people have asked for and made a raw carbon fiber version. And this does look like an aesthetically pleasing paddle. It looks pretty cool. It has the Onix, kind of emblem and some other cool decals. But I did see Lucy, Callie Jo, or maybe it was just, no, not Callie Jo. Lucy and Matt Wright were using these paddles in the Masters tournament, I believe. I did see them playing with these new kind of dark Evoke Premiers, and I was wondering what they were. Checked the USA Pickleball site, and lo and behold, it was these raw carbon Evoke Premier. So this is definitely one to watch. It looks like this might be a 13mm one, Atomic 13. Kind of cool, but hopefully more info on this one soon, and the malices as well. Okay, and the last company I wanted to cover, and last paddle I wanted to cover in this video, is out of Joola. And unfortunately, it's not this beautiful kind of Ben Johns paddle, and not the Hyperion CFS, but this very interesting Ben Johns with him actually on it and his signature. And that's probably just kind of like an aesthetic beginner paddle, but I am talking about the Perseus 16mm Alpha 1. This one right here, this beauty. So as many people know, Joola splashed onto the scene in April. Ben Johns left Franklin. Everyone was wondering where he's going to go, and all of a sudden, Joola, a ping pong paddle, table tennis paddle company through and through, said, hey, we're going to start making pickleball paddles. And usually when a company kind of either switches business segments, dabbles into new sectors and things like that, you don't expect them to be so successful right out of the gate. And of course, that was not the case with Joola. Everybody loves their paddles. Specifically the Hyperion CFS 16, and that was the one that Ben Johns had been using for a while now, pretty much all through 2022 since he signed with them. And I'm sure if you go to the rec courts, tournaments, events, you will see a lot of people with this paddle or modifications. Not this paddle, not the Perseus, the Hyperion CFS. People love that paddle. But if you watched the Masters and some of the last tournaments, the recent tournaments, I'm sure he'll start using it in MLP as well. Joola, similar to Selkirk, I guess, is going to dabble with and I know I've used the word dabble a lot, but they've been testing out the R&D aspect of things and want to kind of do this project where they make a paddle for the pros use it, and then they release it out to the general public after the pros kind of give it feedback, which is a little different than Selkirk, because Selkirk with the labs paddles, you have to, it's not only exclusive to pros, you just have to sign up and apply to be in the labs program, and then you can buy it, project 1, 2, and 3, and you can submit your feedback, and for example, that becomes their final product. But this Perseus, definitely not, it doesn't have the big Joola kind of triangle, in the middle like most of the other paddles, but it is kind of nice and clean and just very simple. And you can see that it looks, to be like a pure raw carbon fiber paddle. I'm sure it has some foam probably injected, maybe in the on the outer borders here, because Joola does that with a lot of their paddles. And just a very cool looking paddle. Was approved 12/23, and right after that, Ben John started playing with it, and then Joola put out a little video that showing him explaining what they're doing with this paddle. But very cool name, Perseus, one of the Greek gods. I think he was known for slaying the Medusa monster back in the mythical tale. But hopefully this is one iteration of others that they will do with Perseus, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure this won't be the only one. But excited for this one to make its way to the shelves and see what people think of this one. Quick little bonus thing, not Joola paddle related, but Joola did come out with this aluminum pickleball paddle case recently. They just launched this. I believe it's $50, and as you can see, it's a holder instead of a backpack or a sling bag. You would come to the courts with this briefcase that's made out of aluminum. So they are getting a lot of mixed kind of backlash on this. Some people are all about it. Other people are kind of saying that this is extremely pointless, and why would I need my paddle to be in a briefcase? I'm not going to a business meeting or presentation. But let me know what you guys think in the comments of is this the right move for Joola? Is this the future of carrying around your paddle to bring it in a briefcase? Let me know what you guys think.